Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your girl, Coach Corey. This is the place to inspire, motivate, and with impact. Today I have a very special show for you, and it's going to be beautiful love story vibes. I hope you're gonna enjoy it. I'm going to introduce you to a couple that is very special to my life, Njeri and Zacquet Walter. Hey, and for you out there who's still looking for love, just hang in there, trust God, trust the process, and let's just enjoy this beautiful love story, and just let us remember that God answers prayers in very different ways, in ways that we probably don't expect, but He answers much the same. I'm just going to introduce them from behind the camera. And who do I have here? I have Mr. and Mrs. Walter, a couple that is near and dear to my heart. Say hello, good people.
Hello.
Hello. So happy to have you here. And today we're having a special Valentine edition because it's the month of love.
Yeah.
And yes, look at them. Anyway, you are coming up on your 1-year anniversary.
That's right.
And I just thought, what better way than for you to begin to just share with us a little bit of your love story. So, how did you guys meet?
Wow. That's definitely a story. Babe, how did we meet, in fact?
So, there's this thing called the interwebs.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this specific app called Bumble. And Bumble...
Your Bumble people?
Yes.
Bumble people.
Oh my God!
Yeah, and so Bumble is a dating app. Anyway, so I was swiping one day. This was back in October 2020, #pandemic. And I saw this man. I saw this guy. I was like, he's different from what I'm used to, because for me, I knew I was going to marry a Nigerian man. That one I just knew, because I understand their lifestyle. Like that's the drama that I like.
And by the way, to confirm, I don't believe I'm Nigerian. So just to confirm, I may be shocked. I just don't believe I am. I just don't believe it.
Yeah, and I saw his picture. First thing I noticed was his green eyes. And I was like, okay, he kind of cute or whatever, you know. And I just swiped. What is it? Swipe left. It's swipe left.
I think we
swipe right
when we wanted.
When you don't like somebody, you swipe left.
Get out
when
of
you
the
like
way.
somebody, you swipe right.
Get over here.
And so when I swiped right, I saw like he had also swiped right on me, and I was like, oh, okay. So he kind of found me cute too, and then you can continue.
So, in the franticness of that swiping world, where you just literally go by and just go, right? I stumbled onto her profile pic, and there was a moment where I realized that I paused longer than normally. Like, there was just this, and it was probably just like a split second, right? It probably wasn't like 30 seconds or 15 seconds or 10, but it was probably like this moment where, you're just going, and you have your rhythm, you got your rhythm, and you're going, and I don't know how
so you only stopped 1 second for
no,
me.
hey, don't, okay. She's making it seem like
but
it's...
that's what you just said.
That's not, just not, but you're not hearing the rest of it, because everybody else is like, but then you came up.
You see how people are in short box, like how do you say that in English?
Go ahead.
Ingisha box means to enter the box. So like you got me, like how you pulled me in.
That is true. And so what What ended up happening was that I realized that I was pausing longer than I typically did with most people. And so I looked at her picture, and the first thing that I sent to her, I said, "You are absolutely stunning." Because that's what she did for me. She stunned me. And it was, and I may be underestimating the time, right? But it was an intentional moment where I realized, I was like, ah. And so she is kind of cute. And so that was the opening line that I introduced as we got started.
Jokes.
And so our conversations, they were pretty good. Our back and forth banter was something that was, I believe, enjoyable to both of us, which is why she kept, continuing to talk, because she's not the type of person that would let you keep you on the line too long.
So this was, were you talking online, or were you talking
strictly online? We haven't even met face to face yet. So this online back and forth continued for about 2 weeks?
No,
or so?
1 week, and then
Excuse
one
me.
week, and then we exchanged phone numbers.
Yeah. So we were talking strictly online for about a week or so. And
Sorry, can I interrupt you?
please.
So as a professional online dater,
Wow.
there was
Professional.
yes.
Retired.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yes, as a retired professional online dater, there was a method to the madness. Yeah.
How does it work?
This is how it would happen. Yeah. So you log in on Wednesday night. Yeah.
Take out your pen and pad, by the way.
You log in on Wednesday night. You swipe, and then you go to sleep. In the morning, you see who has reached out to you, who has sent you a message like, "Hey, good morning, hello, you're beautiful, hello," blah, blah, blah. And so you just talk to them throughout the day, and then the question pops up, what are you doing? What are your plans for the weekend? Now, this is where the jackpot is. Because now, this is how you get a date. Because if somebody doesn't have a plan, or they really are interested in meeting you, they'll say, "Hey, let's meet up Friday night for drinks." Or let's meet up Saturday for brunch. And so that was the method to the madness. That's what I always used to do. But now with Mr. Zacquet Walter.
Hey, what happened?
Nothing.
So just to confirm, the way in her head it was supposed to go, Wednesday we talk, Thursday we decide to meet one another, Friday we meet one another. Right?
Or Saturday.
Or Saturday, sometime during that weekend. And so that was the timeline in her head. But that wasn't my game plan.
It was not.
That wasn't my game plan that she enjoyed, actually. I think you had fun.
I did. I ate.
So how it worked from my perspective was that I enjoyed our conversation so much that I wanted to see how long I can genuinely keep her attention. From my perspective,
This is news.
I wanted to see if, this was just, something that would just come in and go, something that if it would, more than just physical, more than just anything, I wanted to truly know if we had a connection. And so week 1 passes by and she's biting at the bit. I know she is. Oh, I know she is. I know she is. She is literally anticipating the moment we can meet because my conversation was the bomb. Anyways, not to brag. So this is what I say. I bought some real estate in her head.
He did.
And I settled there, and I wanted to ensure that the property was hot. So we were talking along the way, and then we ended up exchanging telephone numbers. And the very first time we FaceTimed one another, just so that she can make sure I was real. I didn't really have any concerns that she wasn't real, but she just like, is this dude really have green eyes? Is this a picture from 5 years ago and now he's completely bald? Has he let himself go athletically and now he's completely out of shape? I need to see this guy. And so we end up FaceTiming with one another. And I'm, chilling in the bed. I got my whole setup because I'm living the dream right now. I got the TV on the wall, the 75-inch TV that's just sitting in my apartment, one bedroom. I got my bed set up in such a way that all I got to do is grab the PlayStation controller and I'm off to the races. I'm trying to tell y'all, it was set up. But so she ends up FaceTiming me while I am heavily engorged in a game of 2K basketball. And so I'm playing and getting it, and she ends up FaceTiming me, and I decide that I can multitask in this moment. Okay. I decide that it would be an extraordinary idea to let her watch me play the game while I jumped into a conversation with her. And she tells me after 22 seconds on that call. How much time?
22 seconds.
22 seconds on that call. She tells me, you're either going to play the game or you're going to talk to me. Clearly you don't want to talk to me, so I'll talk to you later. And I was like, I got one of them. Shoot. I got...
And we here.
I can't have a perfectly good conversation because but anyways, I end up jumping off the game. I just put it on pause. I turned down the controller and then I set everything up to where it looked like I was looking at her, but I was really playing. Not really. But we ended up having a great conversation and really launched off from there. And she was so excited to meet up. This is week 2. Okay. So we've been talking for about
2 weeks?
12 days now.
Yeah.
14 days.
Let me just jump in here because I don't know why he's not telling you guys this part of the story. Mm-hmm. So we've exchanged numbers. We're talking daily. Good morning, good evening. But a part of me thought he was a married man because every day past I think 7 o'clock.
It was probably 9. It was probably a little bit later than 7.
Anyway, he says 9, I say 7. I was the one receiving the silence. Every day past 7 o'clock, I couldn't get to him. Like, he wouldn't pick up my calls, he wouldn't respond to my texts. And I'm like, yo, I am now dealing with a married man.
And she would be, where are you? What's going on? But she wouldn't blow me up like that, like crazy like that. But she would.
For the record,
she would hint to the fact that she realized something was a little strange. And so either way, it's that real estate. Why? Because she wanted to know the mystery. She wanted to know more. Putting what you say in the box. Say it.
Engisha
box. And so I'm working on my intonations. I apologize. I'm still trying to get better. But either way, we were going back and forth, and then every time she wanted to meet, I actually did have a whole life that wasn't revolved around her. Apparently. Which she didn't completely realize nor understand.
So how did you guys first have a face-to-face? Like meet?
So I'm making up all these excuses. I have a tournament this weekend where I can't make it. I'm going to go help my sister move. Those were actually legitimate reasons. But on the Friday before Halloween 2020, I had invited her to come with me to a friend's house because he was having a Halloween bash type get together. I invited her to that space, but I felt uneasy about bringing her into an atmosphere where I was 100% comfortable and she knew nobody. I didn't think from a lady's perspective that was appropriate. And so I wanted to reduce some of the possible tension, the jitters of first meeting, the will he like me, won't he like me type deal. I wanted to make it as simple as possible because I already knew that she knew that I was, a pretty cool guy, but I just wanted her to feel safe around this pretty cool guy. And so everybody's laughing in here. Everybody's laughing. But so I really wanted to meet her before. It just so happened that her hair appointment ended early.
No.
Not ended early?
No,
Go for it. Please help me.
Friday night.
I
was going to get my hair done after work. And his Friday night just opened up for whatever reason. I think somebody canceled on him. And he was like, you know what? I want to meet you tonight. Is it possible? I was like, I'm getting my hair done. So maybe after that. And he's like, okay, cool, let's do this. Where are we meeting? Chili's. I'm like, Chili's. Okay, it's a bit different for me because my fellow West Africans, they took me to really nice places.
Filet mignon.
I've eaten good steaks. I've eaten nice places.
Mm-hmm.
No shade to Chili's. It's just not my choice for a first date. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, you know what? Let's not be picky. Let's just go with the flow. Hiya. So I finished my hair appointment. I call him. We agree at the spot we're meeting at. And I was so hungry. Not just hungry, hangry. And I'm on the phone with him as I'm driving to this Chili's. And he's giving me all the stories. He has talked. And I'm like, Jacques, please, let's just meet at the restaurant. I'm hungry. Don't talk to me, please. So I make it to the restaurant. He was already there, thankfully. And I see him and I'm like, oh, okay. Hi, I'm Njeri. Wait, did I introduce myself as Njeri? Because I used to have a fake name on not social media, sorry.
I already knew what your name was by that time.
These dating apps. But yeah, that's how we met. That was our first meetup at Chili's. And
pause. She came out that car smelling like Black woman fresh hair care products. She was wearing her gray California hoodie with some blue jeans and casual shoes. But the way that she was walking up that sidewalk, let me tell you. I can't go. It's for the R-rated version if I told any more. But so we make it into Chili's. I understand the state of mind that she is currently in. I don't know if you've ever had the experience of dealing with an individual who is past the point of being hungry to where their stomach is touching their back and they're at a state of being cantankerous to where they can snap off at anything. I understood. I was treading on thin ice, fellas. In the back of her mind, she didn't know if I was married. She didn't know if I had another relationship. She didn't know if I was an alien from another world. But she was still willing to meet after her appointment. While she was hangry, she still didn't cancel. So I had to think quick. We walk into Chili's. Can we have chips and salsa, please? I really don't want chips and salsa. It's okay. Still get some chips and salsa for the table. Let me tell you how fast those chips went.
did I eat them?
Baby.
I don't remember.
Baby. I remember. You was picking off those chips, trying to eat them all dainty, and then eventually you was just going in at some point. But you weren't touching the salsa. She doesn't do spicy much. I had the chips and salsa on the table, and then conversation was able to get started, from there. Those first couple of chips entered and started working its way through her system, and I could tell she was opening up just a little bit more, okay? Just a little. Do you even remember what I was wearing?
Let me try and remember. I think you were wearing your Captain America sweater with the white hoodie. I don't remember your pants.
It's okay, babe.
Did I do it?
I'm proud of you, baby.
Okay, so let me ask you at this point, where are you in your relationship with God?
I want to say my relationship with God at this point was just okay, but I think when when I met Jacques, or like when we started talking, I could definitely feel a shift. I could definitely, like, I just, oh gosh, it's until I met him that's when I was like, okay, there's something here, like. And also when we were talking on phone and stuff like that, we used to talk about like scripture and stuff like that. And so I'm like, okay, so this is somebody who knows the Bible. He told me a brief history about how he used to work in the church and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, this is somebody who has some form of adabu.
Decorum.
Yes. Let's go with decorum. He has some form of decorum. He has some form of foundation in the church and Christianity. So I was like, okay, because a lot of the people I dated didn't, you know. So I was like, okay, so this one's a bit different.
And I would say it's been easy since then. It's been organic. Nothing has, I don't believe, been forced. Anything, at least from my end. Let me just speak for myself for a moment, because she'll probably tell you all the opposite, all the work I had to put in. So I'll let her speak for herself. But for me, it just made sense. For me, I found a reason to love. I found a reason to work. I found, like, I promise you, in biblical terms, if I could equate this type of relationship to anybody, I would have probably tried to work 7 years for her. Just like Rachel. It just felt right. It just felt like
It's
it
that
made
unexplainable feeling. I don't know if everybody feels it or every married couple feels it, but that's honestly that's it. And just to fast forward to the next day, because that's when the party at his friend's was, he came to pick me up in his
pickup truck.
Example of a truck. Chuck the truck.
Chuck the truck. Hey, R.I.P. player. I love you. I appreciate you.
It's a
Chuck
car.
the truck. Huh?
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Chuck was a piece of metal.
Point A to point B.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So I remember when I was walking down the stairs, I showed him where my spare key was. And this is day 2 of actually meeting him. And he's like, you trust me like that? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, here we are. We're here now. Like,
okay, let me let you know how crazy this is, okay? We've been talking for a little bit over 2 weeks. We've met for the very first time. Day 2, I come to pick her up and we're heading downstairs and she's like, oh, by the way, just in case, come here. I have to show you something. I'm like, okay. And now I'm scared for my life. Am I about to get kidnapped? Am I, going to get knocked upside the head and taken for everything I'm worth? What is happening? And so she says, come, I need to show you something. And so I'm like, looking at my watch, we need to get going. And so she leads me underneath the stairs of her apartment complex. And I'm like, okay. And so she takes me and she points underneath where one of the stairs are, and she takes her little fingernail and clink, 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 and pulls out a whole key. She produces an entire key of what seems like out of thin air, right? And so I'm just like, good night. This means that she trusts me. And so I didn't want to take that for granted. And the real estate that I bought, that I rented in her head, was now becoming more and more valuable, and I wanted to take care of it a little bit more because now the element of trust is in there. And so we end up making it to the party. And go ahead, what happens at the party? What was your experience? So I'm black, straight American, no additional culture besides that. She has the experience of being born in America, raised in Kenya, who is now living back in America. And so all my friends, for better or for worse, just straight black. And so I don't know how welcoming or how comfortable she would be in this environment. Skin tone, everything is the same. But after experiencing her friends and experiencing my friends, night and day culturally. And so she jumps into that experience. Please tell them about how that night was from your perspective.
It was cool. It was cool. it was also different in the sense that, you know, people don't introduce people they're dating so soon to their close friends. So in my head I was like, oh, this is different, this is new. But we had a good time, and also I felt our connection with Jacques, especially when they had these games.
There was one game, the back-to-back.
Oh yeah, there was a back-to-back game where we were back-to-back, and we somehow had to think what the other person is saying.
May I?
No. So, you've talked enough. So...
She wants the microphone. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I found it interesting. I found it different because I've never clicked with someone that quick now, to the extent that I kind of know what he's thinking and he kind of knows what I'm thinking, and everyone at the party was like, y'all done this before? I'm like, no, this is day 2 of us meeting. It wasn't as filled with dance as an African party is, because we dance, we love to dance.
Boy.
But but I still enjoyed my time there with his friends regardless. And yeah, that's how we started our dating.
So how did you know Jacques that she was the one?
Nothing else made sense. Nothing else made sense. After a point, I couldn't see anything else without her in it. And
What was that defining moment?
there wasn't one. It was just, you know, when you just are sitting back and thinking about, what am I doing tomorrow? All of a sudden she's there. When you're sitting back and like, all right, so next month I got this and this going on, then all of a sudden she's there. And there was a point where it didn't make sense for her not to be there. And so, but if you're wondering, I really knew it was at the pause before the swipe. I intrinsically, within myself, personally knew that if I swiped on this gal,
Fine gal.
that this fine gal,
Beautiful gal.
okay, baby, okay, insert adjective here, gal, that everything would be different for me from that point going forward, and that feeling, that inclination has held itself to be true. But there was moments that confirmed that it was the right thing to do, and I just went with that, kept pulling on that thread, and now we're here.
Njeri, how did you know he was the one?
So, still in that weekend, that Friday, Saturday, now Sunday, I really wanted to see him. So I told him, yeah, I actually can't leave the house today. I'm not feeling too good. And then he's like, oh, okay. Can I come to you then? I'm like, oh, okay. Since you're the one who brought it up, yes, you can come over. So he comes over, and I see he has a paper bag, and he gives it to me. I'm like, what's this? He's like, open and see. And when I open the bag, I see some chips, crisps, some mango pills, because I love mango pills, and I think maybe Skittles, something else. And for me, I was just like, what? This guy went to Walmart. Nobody told him to. He went to Walmart, he bought my favorite snack.
Sorbet.
Oh, sorbet, yes, mango sorbet. And he went to Walmart. Nobody told him to. I didn't ask him to. And he just did this for me. Wow. I felt so special. I felt very special. And I remember what he said verbatim was, I'm here to serve you. Hey! Now you, when you hear that. See, I was already in the box. Now I even closed myself in the box. Threw away the key. Yeah, I locked myself in. I said, I'm not going anywhere. This is what I want. And so yeah, for me that action, and for him saying that, and that he still lives by it, that's how I knew. I was like, this is it.
So tell us, what was the engagement like?
So, I knew it was happening. What happened was, at first I didn't think anything of it because it was around
our 1 year anniversary.
Our 1 year anniversary, his deadline, eh? But at this point, I knew he was gonna do it. I just didn't know when exactly.
How did you know?
So, see, I'm getting to it. Calm down.
I'm excited.
So the night before, I was hanging out with one of my girlfriends, and
who was helping me plan, by the way.
And so we were talking about some musicians who are coming to Dallas, and she asked me if I was interested in going with her. And so I don't know, for whatever reason, why I grabbed her phone instead of just looking it up on my phone. I think my phone had some network issues. So she unlocks her phone, and I see she hadn't like closed out of the app she was in, and it was her messages. And I see up there Zacquet, and I see exactly, this is the thing, what she wrote. Yeah, she's not expecting a proposal dinner. I was like, now I know. So now in my head I was like, do I tell Jacques? Or should I just
play along?
I'm like, if I tell him now, he'll be so discouraged. How is this going to go? I said, you know what? It's okay. He might even change his mind. In fact, I thought maybe Noel would have texted him that I saw the text and they need to regroup. But it didn't happen. So we were going out for dinner for our anniversary.
Can I pause?
Yeah.
So in preparation for the engagement, I end up purchasing what I believe to be a pretty extraordinary ring. One that has to be customized to the specifics that I wanted. And so I'm waiting on the shipment to come in, but I know that I have this dinner planned for this day. And so I end up finding a suitable replacement, and not replacement, but substitute for the moment. Placeholder. Thank you, baby. I end up finding a placeholder I don't remember where I found it, but now it didn't come with the box. Yeah. Presentation matters, but it didn't come with a box. And so now I go to Walmart and I say, hey, I have a ring, I just need a box. Oh, we don't sell rings without the box. And so now I end up buying a third ring just for the box, but she, long story short, ends up getting 3 wedding rings. And so she can interchange and choose and switch in between, but the first one costs money. We're at the dinner. And let's see. I think it was a Tuesday night. It was a randomly busy night for this steakhouse. Man, let me tell you.
It was busy.
I thought we would be like almost the only ones in there.
Yeah, it was packed.
And loud.
That's true. So we're taken to our table, and Jacques starts. What did he do? He was saying, oh, let's take a picture. And I'm hungry. He's always doing things when I'm hungry. And I'm like, see, chill. See, we first get food. Let's first eat so that you don't see the anger in my face because I'm hungry. He's like, oh, okay, fine. I'm like, why is he insisting on a photo? I'm the one who usually insists on photos. Hiya. So...
Pause. I have to add element to the story. So before we sat down at our table, I had spoken to the waiter that was going to be serving us, and I said, hey, I'm proposing tonight. I don't know if she knows. Hey, tonight's the night. If you can, I'm going to get my wife to take a picture with me, but I'd like you to record it because I would like to propose during that moment. And he said, Sawa. I got you. And she doesn't know this. Play.
So we have our dinner. It's good. I'm happy. I'm full. And then he's like, okay, let's do the picture. I'm like, hey, this man has insisted on this picture. I said, you know what? Maybe he's excited. It's our first year. It's a celebration. Maybe he wants to frame the picture somewhere. Okay, let's take a picture.
Time out. You were thinking like this even though you knew...
Yeah, because in my head, it didn't.
It wasn't real yet.
There's that, and also I thought maybe you do something outside, and then you know how typically people have a speech that leads to the proposal. There wasn't any of that, so that's why in my head I wasn't like, okay, it's happening now, it's happening now. Had you started a speech, I'd be like, oh.
Oh, you needed the momentum.
Yes.
For the moment.
Yes. So me, I was just like, okay, he really just wants a picture.
Yeah.
But it's going to happen. I just don't know when. Okay, let's take this picture. Let's see. Maybe when we're heading home, we'll pass by somewhere like a garden. I had ideas in my head. And so I'm there, smiling, cheese. And then we gave the waiter my phone. I see my flash is on for a long time. I'm like, Kwani, my phone is frozen. Is it a video he's taking? So I'm trying to tell him, no, the flash is still on. Maybe you pressed video instead of picture. And as I'm trying to tell the waiter this man, he's on his knee. And I'm like, hiya. Oh, yes, will you marry me? And I asked him, are you sure? Are you for real? That's what I asked him. Are you for real? And he's like, and obviously for me it was a yes, but I'm just there cheesing. I'm like,
And I'm like, you gotta.
He's like,
I'm sitting
you
down
still
there.
haven't answered me. I'm like, oh yes, sorry, yes, hi.
And listen, let me tell you how movie moments are alive. Because I was expecting, in my head, we both had alternate realities, but in my head, I thought that the music would stop, everybody would look, stand up, standing ovation, everybody's life continued.
Nobody even looked at our table.
There's no romance anymore. People don't care anymore.
Yeah, but that was basically the engagement.
Yeah. So that's how we were engaged.
So how was your wedding, especially when you keep in mind that it was an intercultural marriage or wedding ceremony?
For me, it was 100% an experience. Because this new culture is all brand new for me, you know. Just being fully enveloped in the Kenyan culture and truly learning what it means to be a Kikuyu man and truly learning all of the different elements that are included and the proper procedures to be effective. And so I was so nervous. I didn't want to mess up. I didn't want to have to pay no fines. I didn't want to owe nobody no more dowry. And so I was trying to stay the straight and narrow. So if you ask me, it was just a lot, but it was really fun.
For me, the wedding was, I want to say it was normal because I feel like we incorporated so much Kenyan white wedding traditions into our wedding. And so honestly, the only different thing in our wedding was we didn't have a sermon and we jumped over the broom. But I feel like everything else was pretty much normal according to me. So I'm thankful for his family for being so accommodating, and it was just an interesting way to introduce them to just a tip of our culture, because we're yet to do our Rorashio. Now that one I will see how it goes.
How have things changed from the time you all met to today? How has God worked in your lives?
Yeah, so when we met, I was in dentistry on the admin side. I had the privilege of serving as office manager at a location, and so we met at a space where we weren't super intentional with our relationship with Christ. Where we weren't super intentional, you know, still went to church and, you know, still sat in the pew and everything like that, but we weren't really walking out our destiny or purpose at that point. I'm a pastor, so I know that I had a calling over my life. COVID sat everybody down, so during that space of time, I definitely I enjoyed the break, but at the same time knew that it was just a moment where I was sitting back and relaxing. And so this person knew so as well. She is actually the reason why I am at the position that I am now. When you talk about destiny helper, when you talk about somebody who's put in your life for a specific reason and really wants to attach themselves to you to ensure that you become the best person that you can be, that's when you know you found somebody. And so she encouraged me. She's like, hey, apply for positions at church. I specialize in youth and children development, and so that was what I was going for, what I was looking into. And so she was able to play a pretty pivotal role early on in the direction and trajectory that this relationship was going to go.
Well, for me, it was me, myself, and I, first of all. No, I'm messing.
She's not. She is not. There was almost not enough space for me.
Oh my gosh. No. I think for me, how Jacques really helped me get back on the path of, first of all, getting right with God, and then also career-wise, is that because he has that anointing and calling of pastoring and stuff like that, he used to challenge me in ways that were annoying but necessary. And so whenever we were working on that, I knew that this is somebody who I can depend on to lead me. Even now during marriage, like, he's the priest of our house. And so I was just confident in his leadership. Now for work, I was working at the call center, as we mentioned before, and it was just not meant for me at all. Oh my goodness, I think of that job, I am like, wow, I survived. I really did. But I wouldn't have survived it as well, if that's okay,
gracefully.
as gracefully, if he wasn't by my side, because I would just vent and unleash everything every evening after I finish that last phone call, because people are just so special. That's the word we're going to go with. They're special. And so even after I quit that job, he gave me that encouragement that I needed in that season to just keep on pushing, to figure out what is in store for me, to figure out what God is trying to tell me in that season. And when I got my quote-unquote dream job with my dream company, he was my biggest cheerleader, and he prayed for me, he prayed with me, and I am in a new role with a new company this year.
Even
and
better, by the way.
Yeah, and he's always been my cheerleader. What's the word I was looking for? I don't know.
Hype man?
Yes, my hype man. He's been my hype man. And so yeah, he's definitely been the push that I need to make the next step.
But at the end of the day, we know that we are in it for one another's best interests. We remind ourselves that we are literally on the same team, and in everything we try to move in tandem together in the same direction, with literally Christ leading the way, and Jack's closely behind. But we just want to be obedient to everything that the Lord has in this season.
Thank you so much. Hey, Jax, you want to say hi to the camera?
Say hi to the camera, Jax.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. What you have to say?
Right,
Jax, the world is listening, man. This is your platform.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is your chance.